Bada bing, bada boom. I'm a very happy jelly bean today. I have just managed to, well, managed to sound it like it was some tremendous task that I've been failing to do, which is actually the definition. I've just finished watching Dune 2, depending if you're from the States or the rest of the world. So, yeah, it's fantastic, I have to admit. I was a big fan of the first one, which is weird to me, considering the films I like are quite action, violent, orientated. And this one was a lot talking, the first one. And the second one, my God, it makes up for it. The battles, there's some great action set pieces. The ones where Paul has quite a few sort of like one-on-ones with people with blades. I think I can remember about 2 or something like that, and it's just great. It's exciting. I'm not going to go into great spoilers, but if you've not seen it anymore and you're watching this, then I'd probably recommend going to see it. But yeah, the battles are fantastic. Paul Atreides, from his turn from a sort of like a childlike boy, he starts off hanging around the guys and not really fitting in and not showing how to speak, and every time he opens his mouth you just sort of scratch your head and go, that was a bit awkward. And then he turns into this great leader and this commander and this guy who is basically seen as this religious, he who shall not be named, almost, of a legend who's going to come and save all these people. Now, one thing I would like to say is there are a lot of words and terminology here. There's just a lot of words and a lot, it sounds stupid, but like, like the Harkonnen and all this, and it's like a new universe. Like, this is the start of, I think, the Dune universe, the Dune world. We'll get a TV show and then it will spiral. This isn't going to be 3 parts, Dune. If you think that it's going to be 3 parts, then you've not seen what the books are like. There's about 7 or 8 books or something like that, as thick as, So yeah, I really enjoyed it. The villains are good. Austin Butler is very menacing. I do like it, but someone told me, oh, he's as good as Heath Ledger, and I just think I was maybe watching a different film to him, but it doesn't matter. Zendaya, I have to admit, I don't, she was alright, but I don't really get the hype behind her. I think she's not like the best thing. I don't think she's the top 5 performances in the actual show. Like, I think she's a good actor, but I don't think she was, the most exciting thing. I don't really get the hype around that. I'll tell you what I do love, though, is the actual universe, and I'm going to say the word, the lore. I'm really invested in this Dune stuff. I can't wait to watch Swift X, or whatever it's called, Shift X's video breaking it down so I can understand what actually went on, because I think it's just a really interesting universe. The music slaps you like your mum slaps you when you don't eat your greens. I mean, that shit is hard. I love it. The different music as to when they're on the sand, in the sand, in the wherever else they are, in the castles and stuff, like, that's what I mean. There's loads of shit that goes on. It's like one of them films I'm gonna have to watch again on my tablet, so I can actually just pause it and go, what the fuck was that? One thing I would like to point out, and it actually angers me, is this is exactly what Star Wars should have done 10 years ago. Make a cool ass story on a sandy planet like they did, you know what I mean, with violence and wars, and you have to make it about this guy. By the end of it I was like, wow, that was such a cool film that Star Wars should have made 10 years ago, you know what I mean, where it's violent action, but it's not like an incredibly depressing film, like Game of Thrones is like pretty much a miserable experience, but it's a great experience. This is like, wow, watching Paul turn from this like kid into this great leader and action-packed man was exciting to watch, and I did enjoy it. For the end of us, this would have been such a good idea for Star Wars to have done. Just make a exciting, story-driven film, not one that's loads of bullshit. But anyway, we'll talk about Dune. But yeah, I really liked the first Dune, but it felt like a bit of a setup, didn't it, really? The first one walked so that Dune 2 could, sprint faster than Usain Bolt on PEDs. It was a great film, but one where you went, okay, I want a little bit more before I make a decision. And I think that's how you'll see these films. They'll be almost like a TV show, it's a collective. It's not all Dune 1, Dune 2. They're waiting to get the whole thing out. But yeah, the battles, the fights. Paul has a fight with Austin Butler, obviously. It's just such a good way to end the fight. You think, oh my God, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, who's dead? Is everyone dead? What's going on here? And yeah, I did really like that. The visuals are just amazing. I just couldn't get over how good it looked. It looks like the whole thing was filmed on a desert planet called Mars or whatever, and it looked incredible. Florence Pugh's in it, which is a bit of a weird one, to be honest. She's in it, I think, for 6 minutes probably total, and very much setting up some sort of alliance and some sort of marriage where Paul is going to marry her, and they'll have a big battle and all that. I don't know. A few other negatives I want to get into. People just die, I felt, especially the villains. I think the 2 villains sort of just died and disappeared, and I was like, is that it? Are they done, or what's going on here? And that's it. One thing I would like to comment on, and it makes sense, and they use Paul's eyes. He takes spice, spoiler alert, and his eyes change colour to blue. And one more moment, Paul's like this almost childlike kid, and he's not very comfortable in sort of speaking and who he is and being strong in person and a leader, and then suddenly his eyes eyes turn blue, and then he's some screaming leader who's gonna lead all these savages to victory or whatever. All these sand people, he's riding worms like I ride a scooter to work. You know, it's cool. But I just sort of like, I don't know, maybe it was just me, and I blinked and I was like, did I fall asleep? What's gone on here? Like, it's a little bit of a jump for me, but it was still good though. It's not a complaint. It's more like, and I think maybe it's because the story is so long, isn't it? They had to maybe slim it down. But yeah, I'm very excited, and I think this is going to be a new cinematic universe type thing. You know, it's going to go on and on and on. We'll get films, we'll get a TV show about people living on the sand and shit like that, and it will be good. And I'll look forward to it because I'm well invested in this, and I really like the first one, and I really like the second one. I was trying to rack me tiny brain to see if there's anything else, but yeah, in conclusion, Dune 2 is a great film. If you've not seen it, go see it. But yeah, there's great battles, great action, great character moments. The side characters are great. I can't remember any of their names, but you know, Thanos, Josh Brolin, he's fantastic. That other guy who's in No Country for Old Men, he's fantastic. You know, all the side people, you know, Zendaya's fine. I wasn't chatting shit, but she's just not the best. You know what I mean? She's decent. But yeah, I think that's it really. I can't wait to see how this carries on and what goes on, and if it's going to be 3 or maybe 4 but film. I don't know. But it seems like there's a lot to wrap up in the remaining time. But yeah, Game of Thrones in space. What do you guys think? I'm sure you've all seen it. I want to know. Bye bye.